Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the viewing figures for Doctor Who, and they are some of the worst ever. Not a surprise, because what was it you told us to do? If you don't like it, go touch grass. Oh, look, that's what everyone did, isn't it? That's what everyone did. They couldn't be bothered to watch your shit, so they went to touch some grass. Very, very funny. I can't wait to hear the excuses that come out. And in fact, there are some excuses in this article already. The excuses are, oh, it was nice weather in the UK, so people didn't want to watch it. Sure, fine, whatever. Fine, whatever. But remember, this has already been, had an early iPlayer debut as well. So you've got that to pass it up. We haven't got the figures released for that. You think if they had good figures, they'd release that already. This is the online element of watching it. But anyway, let's take a look. Please do hit subscribe if you're new, folks, and turn the bell notifications on. Love to hear any and all of your thoughts on this. If you like what I do here, do support it a bit further. We've got Patreon, as well as a merch store, mr8shop.com. There's some really cool designs there, so do go and buy yourself something. But here, look, Doctor Who ratings revealed for Season 14 launch after early iPlayer debut. Season 14 is the first to launch on BBC iPlayer early. So basically, the overnight ratings for Doctor Who Season 14 launch episode Space Babies and Devil's Cord have been revealed as Ncuti Gatwa well and truly takes over the keys to the TARDIS, and they're terrible. 2.6 million views and 2.4 million views. So between episodes, you lost 200,000 people or views, whatever. That's really bad. How'd you manage that? And in fact, if you'd lost another 200,000, you'd be on par with the lowest, which is 2.2 million. So you have lost a significant portion, and you are essentially almost the lowest viewed ever. That's hilariously bad. Like, my God. And it makes these kind of figures even more funny. 49%. Some of these were left. Oh, it doesn't even say it. Oh, it won't even let you look at it. Oh, wow. What? Look. What? Rotten Tomatoes, what you doing? Like, I know you're shills, but my God, don't make it so obvious. Why can't you watch it? Why can't you look at it? What's going on here? But I can look at these. What the hell? What? Why can't I look at it? Wow. Okay, sorry. Bit of a sidetrack there. That's hilarious. Anyway, yeah, that's bad. Let's have a look. Sorry. Basically, they got 2.6 million for Space Babies, and the Devil's Cord was 2.4 million. So not great views, but they're bringing out all the excuses. Absolutely all the excuses. And a whole bunch of the excuses are some of the most pathetic ones ever. It says, while the story of the figures are close to the lowest ever for the show, Legend of the Sea Devils only secured an overnight audience of, 2.2 million in 2022. It's not the whole story. It doesn't include viewers who watched on BBC iPlayer, who will be more significant than ever due to this season being the first to debut early on iPlayer. So where are the figures then? Where are the figures? If they were great, you'd have released them. Figures are also likely to have been affected by the good weather in the UK. That's some cope. Season 14 of Doctor Who marks many firsts. It's the first to launch with a double bill. They did that. They launched with a double bill because they thought that Disney does this. Disney launches with a double bill because it then pushes to the top of the Nielsen's charts. It tries to anyway. It has a higher percentage chance of it reaching the Nielsen's charts because they just count the season as a whole, how many's been released, and the quantity of it. So that's why Disney does it. Disney's invested money in this. This is why BBC is doing it now. That's why they're doing it. But this is terrible. But it basically launched 2 episodes being available at once, and it's the first to debut episodes early on iPlayer before airing them on BBC One later that day. It's also the first season after the BBC's deal with Disney, meaning episodes are being transmitted globally at the same time for the first time ever. So is it transmitted globally at the same time? So it's 2.6 million worldwide? What? Gatwa's first episode, the Christmas special, The Church on Ruby Road, was streamed a whopping 10.1 million times on BBC iPlayer. setting a new record according to the BBC. Now, that's not all strictly true though, is it? So Space Babies, the first episode, this is like some weird abortion allegory. Saw the Doctor and companion Ruby Sunday adventure into the distant future, arriving on a baby farm run by babies, with a monster lurking on the lower decks. The Devil's Chord guest starred a drag queen, Jinx Monsoon, as new villain Maestro, and saw the Doctor and Ruby take a trip back to the 60s, where they quite literally had... They're in the 60s, they do a dance number at the end before breaking the fourth wall, and they're all dancing, and there's legitimately a shot of a bunch of disabled minority people. And you can imagine this absolute raging virtue signaller going, "We must have more disabled minorities on set, please." Like, all of this is done for diversity's sake. It's not done for narrative. You don't get... Like, the first thing you do when you want a dance element and a musical element, it's not to get a bunch of people in wheelchairs. The first thing you do is to get the people that can dance, you know, with all their limbs. I'm not hating on anyone in a wheelchair, but my God. Like, if I was in a wheelchair, I'd be angry at seeing that. I'd be like, what are you doing? Why are you virtue signaling for me? I don't care. Weird, right? Oh, it's so weird. Anyway. And apparently next week we'll see Stephen Moffat's return with his 10th episode, Boom. So there you go. I mean, 2.6 and 2.4 million views are pretty terrible. Genuinely terrible. And I wouldn't trust the BBC, releasing the figures for the iPlayer either, because they're not going to be independently verified, by the way. They're never independently verified. We don't know how they count it, whether they count, you know, an actual entire view. You know, some people have said they watched 10 minutes of it and switched it off. So we don't know how it's all calculated. And so that's important, especially viewing figures like this. It has to be independently verified. You know, what'll be fascinating, because it's on Disney now, is when we get the Nielsen's charts for the States. And Samba TV. That will be revealing, because Disney's paid a lot of money for this. But there you go, viewing figures, appalling. Not really a surprise, quite frankly. I think everyone was touching grass. So, there you go. What do you think? Let me know down below. Take care. Bye-bye now.